Hello, welcome back to Ginny's. I'm Ginny and today we are going to do red velvet and white chocolate chip cookies. So I've done a few of them, the cookies now, and I really wanted to tackle the red velvet. So for my red I have used Sugarflair Fuchsia. Now I have the red extra and you know I like to use the red extra, but it's too dark for this and it's not going to bring with counteracting with the brown, it just isn't. So the fuchsia is quite bright, so if you are looking for doing red velvet you need to pick a bright red, not a really rich one. Okay, so I've got that there, that's what I've used half a teaspoon of that in this. My recipe is in this V just here, and if you click that it will just pop down and you'll be able to screenshot it and do whatever you like with it, but it saves me saying it all out to you, so just hit that V and it'll come down. So let's begin. So to start with, I've got my butter here and it's fairly hard. Now it's not hard enough that it's going to do anything to my mixer or upset my mixer, but it's not really soft. With this recipe, we just do not want to be mixing and mixing and mixing. We are literally just incorporating. So I am putting my sugar and my butter into my mixer and turning that on. And we just want that to just incorporate. Sorry, it jumped for a little bit just because it was quite hard, but it's the way I want it to be, because if it was too soft, it's just going to want to get air into it, and that's not what I want it to do. So the minute that this is incorporated, I'm going to show you, it's just going to look like Play-Doh, and that's what we want. Right, so here we go. So let me show you now. Now that is exactly what I want there. So it just looks like Play-Doh. You get that and put it into a ball, and if you had left it with really soft butter then you wouldn't be able to get that stickiness effect. So that's what we're going to do. Right, now also when it came to red velvet I was really tackling the fact that I wanted that chocolate flavour, and at the same time then I also wanted that red colour, and the two really meet at loggerheads. So I thought, how can I come around this? So I could reduce the cocoa powder and melt chocolate, because the colour with melted chocolate doesn't seem to come out as harsh. So I've got my melted chocolate chips here. I just put them into the microwave. I did it just before I came on camera for you, just so that it wasn't hot, because I don't want to scramble my egg. So now everything is going to go in. So let's get the milk chocolate chips that have been melted, and they've left to just come to room temperature for the moment. And then we're also going to put in the dry ingredients here, which I've got plain flour, baking powder, bicarb, corn flour, and also cocoa powder. So all of that straight in there, okay? And then in this I've got 1 egg, large egg, and then I've also got my vanilla in there, because you know I put vanilla in everything. I love that. I think it really brings out flavours. So I've got my vanilla, and I've also got a 1/4 teaspoon of vinegar. So typically red velvet has this bicarb and vinegar reaction. So I've done this with the cookie. So I've really brought the red velvet into this. So I've done that, and I've also then put my paste into this, just so that it all just comes together a little bit. We don't want to be mixing this loads, and if you put a paste in you're going to have to keep going and going and going and going. So if you put your paste into liquid and just leave it, it sorts itself out. So let's put this in, trying to make sure you get all of that paste, if it's settled at all. Right, I'm going to give this a little go round for a second without the chocolate chips, just to give it a chance, and then we're going to pop in those chocolate chips. So, right, low, keep it low. I know the mixer's beginning to struggle, and that's just because this is quite a dry mixture, but that's the way we want it. If you've done my other cookies, you know that I do it as a dry mixture. Right, in these go. And then just incorporate them, because there we go, we're in, we're done. So we have got this really dry mixture here, but like I've said with all my other cookies, they've been the same. So There we go, we'll just pull all that off. Now you are going to get slightly red. So I've got my scales just here, and we need to make this into, I do 100 grams. Now you can reduce that if you like, you can do 80 or 50, but obviously you'd have to reduce the baking time. So I do mine for about 16 to 17 minutes on 170. So you'd have to reduce that if you cut it down. But we are just going to take a blob, don't forget we have to freeze them, pop it onto the scales. Oh, 99, bang on. So give it a go around like this, pop it down on the plate, and do that for every single one. And then we're going to put them into the freezer and leave them for an hour until they're rock solid, and then we're going to bake them. So I'm going to carry on playing with my scales, 100 again, and I will see you in a bit. Okay, here we go, they're out of the freezer. You just want to make sure we're quite solid. So I've got a fan assisted oven, which is fab, and normally it means I can put 2 lots in. But what I found with these is that if I put in this one and the other one, the ones that were closer to the top spread quite a lot more. These cookies really like to be in the centre of the oven and not go up too high. So I'm just going to cook one lot at a time. If you feel you've got a bigger oven, or you don't mind that some on the top spread and the other ones don't underneath, then carry on, but I'm just going to do 3 at a time. So I've got my 3. I'm going to pop those into my oven, which is at 170 degrees on a fan assisted oven, or 190 on a regular oven, and these take around about 17 minutes. So pop these in, and then, so they're going in the centre of my oven, where they like to be. Pop on my timer. Right, and then with these, all I do is I pop these into a Ziploc bag, and then I can either bake more straight afterwards, or if I don't want that many because I think I'd eat them all, I can just put them into the freezer in a bag, and they're all made, and just bake them as you want them. So I will see you when they come out the oven. Right, I just made beeping noises, 17 minutes is up. Let's get them out. Right, look at these. They look fab. Right, if 100 looks a bit big for you, then like I said, reduce it down and just cut the baking time for about 3 minutes and check them. So how you want these to be is, look, when I touch them, they're gooey, but that's going to settle. Also, if you get this little spread bit round the corner, round the sides, you can just take a knife when it's wet and push it in. Because they're so, what's the word, malleable? That's quite a big word for me. Right, because they're squishy, there you go, in case that was wrong, you can actually play about with it a little bit. There we go, and that is just given that a perfect circle. There you go, look at the difference in that. So we can see the red that there is there, that's come through as well, and we're just going to leave this alone and let it cool, and then I'll show you them then. So now I'm going to get another lot in, so I'll see you in a minute. Here we are, we have cookies. So here they are, and oh, let's pull it apart so you can see. Didn't quite do that centrally, but look at that. You can see the red velvet there, you can see the melted white chocolate coming through. There we go. So enjoy, and I'll see you soon.